Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Luckenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable. Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider who bring it home to the jubilation.
I think tonight I will have a good sleep.
Koen Hermans getting the drop.
I only had 2 fingers on the handlebar, so yeah, a little bit lucky, but you need some luck, yeah.
Checkered flags for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Prunier boys then, checkered flag.
What to say, just a perfect race from the start to the end.
Stuart Brown straight through. A victory lap for Kylian Prunier.
After this, the crowd was just unbelievable. I could just not hear the engine. We made some mistake because of this, but it's just so positive. And thanks to them, because the victory is a part of them, because we had this extra energy to fight back on base and finally get the overall. Yeah.
Well, Koen, we are in Gdańsk. I think now this is the 3rd year we are here. What do you think about the track?
Yeah, it's really nice. The first time we went here, it was really small, and last year it was already better. But yeah, now it's really amazing. They make a really good job.
Yeah, today we did the track walk with the FIM and the organizer, and we made some requests, and they really listen really good. Also to your advice. What do you think about? Will be good racing lines here?
Yeah, for sure. The track is really wide now, so I think you can make a lot of lines. So if you have a bad start, you can still win here.
So when we did the track walk, we discussed about the far end of the track. We have some really nice jumps now where you can jump next to each other, and we change the corner. What's your opinion about the track? Does it really change now a lot?
Yeah, for sure. The jumps are also really wide, so we can already have another line before the jump. So it's a lot more possible to pass someone. So and they made some new jumps also. So yeah, it's really good. It will be a really nice track now.
That is a really nice track. Our drone shot showing you. Well, 3 rounds down. This the 4th round in the 2025 FIM Sidecarcross World Championship. My name is Barry Nutley, and I'm bringing you this live stream courtesy of fim-moto.tv.com. So if you're watching us live, then a very warm welcome, and I can tell you it's warm here in Gdańsk. My goodness me, it's predicted to be in the mid to high 20s as the day unfolds, and it's already pretty warm. There are going to be some fairly pink bodies after this weekend, I can tell you. But we've got some great racing. 2 Grand Prix races ahead of us. We've had qualifying, and Marvin van Luckenen and Kylian Prunier were top of the pile in each of the respective qualifying groups, so they will be the first to go to the gate. And this is the standings as we speak. 153 for Hermans. Prunier then 32 points behind. Van Luckenen level with Prunier. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard there on 117. They're not a million miles away either. So we need to get some qualifying points added to those. Graphic not entirely correct according to my mathematics, but never mind. Little Bardis boys, they are there in 11th and stand every chance of going higher than that because the Wyman brothers sit above them. Hodges, Wires, Tim Brummer is here with another passenger. So Tim Brummer's got Justin Blumer on board this weekend, having, 2 passenger injuries, you know, and here's how they line up. As I say, Van Luckenen and Prunier the quickest in the 2 groups. Hermans, Lil Bardis, Davy Sanders, Leffering, Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider still going well. Brett Wilkinson was 5th in Group B. Tim Brummer there. Brett Wilkinson was 4th in Group B, I beg your pardon. Tim Prumer there as well. Hodges, a good starter, but you'll need to be a good starter here at Gdańsk because the track funnels into a very tight right-hander and then charges downhill to a left. And that's the rest of the top 20. Some question mark over whether Daniel Williamson and Guy Sparring will go. The passenger suffered a bit of an injury yesterday afternoon, occurring a big contingency here from the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. The fastest place to be is on the left-hand side of the grid as we look at it, and Van Luken and Nicolas Massey doing exactly that. The Prunier boys next to him. Then we've got the red plate holder. By 31 points, I make it after qualifying. Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. And after Hermans, it will be the Leelbardis twins, and there they are, the 101. So there's everyone in light strip here. There's a lot of white, so we're going to be a bit confused rushing towards the first bend, or rather I am. Davy Sanders and Jens Vincent, always easy to pick out in their blue, the 109, and very distinctive. The Leferick brothers, 75 there in their all red strip with the blue helmets. 91, the Austrian crew, Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider lining up alongside the first of the left-hand sidecars, and only 3 left-hand sidecars here in Poland. Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard, 8th fastest qualifying. They need to get that thing off the line. Tim Prumer with Justin Bloomer on board, the number 17. Traditionally, he's a quick gaiter. He lines up alongside number 7, Justin Kerben and Dion Rietman. Then it's Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson, the number 13, the second of the British left-hand sidecars. Number 20, Adrian Petter and Joel Hoffman. The third of the left-hand sidecars, the 25 number of Joshua and Noah Weinman, German in nationality, but traditionally their father, uncle, and they have ridden left-hand sidecars. Kurt Gordiev, 151, with Rodolphe Le Breton. Stefan Wires and Han van Hal, 418, completing the front row. So all those names, any one of them has the capability of getting the whole shot, but we're going to be looking at all those white outfits. That's going to be very difficult to pick them out, but it's Van Lukener, then it's Prunier, then it's Hermans, then it's Leelbardis. That's the top 4 counting in until we get to the blue shirt of Davy Sanders. So, will the Prunier boys do it? Overall victory in Bru at the last round, moving into second place with that 31-point deficit on Koen Hermans. 444. The outfit at the back, Robert Lietzer. Robert Lietzer from Estonia. Tension building in this, I can tell you. There was a 10-minute delay in the start of proceedings because we've had a quad race here. We've also got the EMX Quad Cross Championship on the programme, and there was a bit of track repairing to do. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. That's better. A little drop of water down the larynx works wonders. Romaric, Chanteloup moving into place. The drone shot. And we are getting close. So I remind you, looking down on the far right, Marvin van Lukener. Alongside him, Kilian Evan Prunier. Then it's Koen Hermans, and then it's Daniel Leelbardis. Commentator's nightmare, all wearing white shirts. Never mind. The Latvian fans all along the terracing at the back, and they will be vociferous in their applause for the Leelbardis boys should they make the gate. Lots of people soaking up the sunshine here in Poland, in the north of Poland, not far from the Baltic Ocean, and we were there on Thursday night just for a little tourist trip to go up, and even 1 or 2 of our crew put their feet in the icy cold Baltic. Well, rather them than me, I can tell you. The crowd's here loving it. Dave Edwards will nearly into 15 seconds. So look at Van Lukener, look at Prunier, look at Hermans, and look at Leelbardis. They are going to be in the pound seats. And from this angle, I'm only going to be able to watch and hope that I get it right. Now we've got the shot we want. Down goes the gate. And it looks like the Lielbardis boys have got the whole shot. Can they get it round the bend? Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis, but sneaking through on the inside. That's Marvin van Lukener, Nicolas Mousset. So the reigning champion, defending champion in second place, but Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis from fourth position on the grid got the mega underway and on course for the race lead here. There they go. Van Lukener then. Davy Sanders in third. Then it's Justin Kerben, Dion Rietman. Then it's Kilian Evon Prunier in fifth place. Where is Hermans? Hermans is going the long way round. He's got shoved out. He's behind what looks like Tim Brummer. It looks like Tim Brummer ahead of him, but we shall see. Well, fantastic start by the 101. Daniel Bruno Lielbardis, Marvin van Lukener and Nicolas Mousset going with him. Now the big question mark in my head, and it will almost certainly be in the head of the number one, is has Marvin got the stamina to maintain this position and the pace for 30 minutes? But because he's still suffering from the effects of COVID, which absolutely drain his energy bank. And when that happens, he can only back off. And my heart goes out to him when that happens. But let's not hope that's going to happen. Let's wish him well in this one. Kerben, number 7. There, Hermans coming now. Hermans with the red plate. Tim Brummer and Justin Blumen did get a good start. Round they go then, over those massive jumps, and you can see they're clearing that double. Oh, fantastic shot by Brummer there. Front wheel came down hard, but it was a good effort going through the picture. And there, Koen Hermans coming through just ahead. Oh, there's already one pulled up, so one out of the running. That's an early bath for one of the relatively good front runners. They were well placed until it stopped. Whether they pulled out, and that is a left-hand sidecar, so that's one of the British crews or Joshua Weinman. Looked like Mike Hodges. I didn't see what sort of start Brett Wilkinson got. We'll see when they come over the line. Let's hope that was not Brett Wilkinson. He's sitting in fourth place in the standings at the moment, but it stopped. It's not the first time if he's managed to pull out the kill switch. Prunier boys ahead of Koen Hermans. On the back now of Justin Kerben. Davy Sanders in front of Kerben, but the front two are getting away. Marvin van Lukener chasing down Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis. These two are now getting away. They've got a second over Van Lukener, but then it's a further 2.5 seconds back to the chasing pack. And that's Davy Sanders. But Van Lukener holding on to the coattails of Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis. They had a chassis change. A brand new chassis was fitted on that bike all across Friday morning. I was here early Friday, and they had a brand new chassis all stripped out and ready to go. So all the components, the engine, the wheels, the suspension, every single component was switched across to the new frame. And in an interview yesterday, Daniel Lielbardis said, now we've changed the chassis, it feels more like last year's bike. Well, that's an interesting observation. Here comes Kerben. Kerben, who had a bearing break on his engine yesterday, so he had to nurse it home in the qualifier. He's now showing us his true speed when the engine is good, and he's gone through on Davy Sanders up to third place, and here comes Prunier. Prunier now having a look at Davy Sanders and Jens Vincent. And the French pair, second in the standings at the moment, overall winners in Bru in round 3, need to get their fingers out, and they're doing just that on Davy Sanders. You heard on the track walk, there's now a variety of overtaking lines on this track. You can pass on the jumps, there's plenty of width. Just takes a bit of courage, because a lot of these jumps are blind and you can't see what's happening the other side. For all you know, there could be a stranded bike, so that is a little bit, but then of course you'll be getting the flag warnings. Sanders with the Prunier boys right on his case. number 94, French champions. Currently lying in 4th place. Fifth place, I beg your pardon. Sanders, now they're 4th. Now they're 4th. Through smartly on Davy Sanders and through. Now Kerben is in front. Have they got the speed to catch Justin Kerben? Well, I'm sure they've got the speed. Koen Hermans is coming behind them now. So Koen Hermans has got Davy Sanders to negotiate. And I'm quite sure he will be doing everything in his manual to make that happen. And there, he's just opened another page, you can see. Alongside and over the jump. Right. The Prunier boys then. And Koen Hermans is coming. Tim Prunier is coming. Tim and Sem Lefrink, Leal Bardis, Van Lukena. Let's count them through. Justin Kerben, Dion Rietman, number 7. Through they go, 3rd. 4th place, Killian Evan Prunier, Davy Sanders. Then it's Koen Hermans. Marvin Van Lukena has undeniably got the speed, but the Leal Bardis boys, quickest lap at the moment, 151.829 on lap 3. So that was their last lap. They did the fastest. And they're all mounting up behind here. Van Lukena and Nicolas Musset riding absolutely beautifully. Adverb. Got to keep the mega-powered Leal Bardis boys in sight, because coming hard and fast now, and it's quite a gap, it's Justin Kerben. The gap back to him, some 4.5 seconds from Marvin. And Killian Evan Prunier, number 94, in 4th. You can hear the air horns for the Latvians. They've got an encampment along the top. There's Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans alongside Davy Sanders. And Sanders, unable to hold the position, has to give second best to the red plate. Tim and Sem Lefrink are now coming. Then it's Prunier. Tim Prunier behind the Lefrinks. Tim Prunier, Justin Blumer ahead of Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. So they are still running, and they're still running very much on the pace, but they need to wind the rest of these guys in. Hermans then, past Sanders. My timing screen updating. 16 seconds cover the top 8-9 riders. So there's still nothing in it with 8 minutes of racing gone. Sanders holding a good 6th place here. Koen Hermans has gone past. Lucky I didn't say Kermit there for a minute. Tim and Sem Lefrink. And the Lefrinks then ahead of Davy Sanders. So they're moving up the order as well. Sanders going backwards here. But this race really alive at the front. Watching the drone shot. Now who's that stranded? Can't see at the moment. Could be a 103, but well, I'm not going to speculate. Let's get back with the action at the front. And the Leal Bardis boys are out there now, still 0.8 seconds over this pair. Van Lukena and Musset have not lost touch at all. In fact, they're very much in touch. What Marvin needs now is to wind in these 18-year-old Latvian twins, and what a season they had last year, carrying the red plate for a good deal of the season, and now languishing in 11th place in the standings. Van Lukena getting bogged down a little bit there. Kerben still going, Prunier still on his case, and then it's Koen Hermans. And after Koen Hermans, it is Tim and Sem Lefrink. So the Dutch doing well here, not as well as they would have done in their home stand. And now Tim Prunier has passed Davy Sanders. Prunier up to 7th place. The red plate going through your picture there. Kerben has got A bit of a traffic jam building up now because the Prunier board are coming, the 94 crew French champions. There they go. Kevin Prunier. A win and a third place in Bru got them the overall by one solitary point. And they love this sort of going. They're very brave on the jumps. And if you ask me the question, I think that is where they're going to make their move on Justin Kerben. First, they've got to wind him in and get on the back of the red-shirted number 7s. Magnificent, magnificent scenery here in Poland. Cloudless sky, scores of spectators. And that's exactly what we need. This track have really, this club, the whole club have raised their game for the sake of the FIM Sidecarcross World Championship and put on an absolutely magnificent event. We had a formal dinner last night with the club president, and what a gentleman he is. Prunier then. He had a problem at Fox Hill with a collapsed shock absorber, and Brett Wilkinson has had 2 shock absorber collapse incidents that I know of this season, and it begs the question whether the tracks with their massive jumps and the high speed and the heavy landings are proving to be too much maybe for the shock absorber manufacturers, who seem to need to revisit their settings possibly and the durability of the unit. Prunier then, right on the back of Kerben, with Koen Hermans closing and ever present on the French boys. And they know that he is coming, their pit crew, and that consists of Mother, certainly, with her pit board, giving them the signals they need. Real family concern, this Sidecar motocross. Dogs, the whole lot come along, and it's a family atmosphere in the paddock, and it's a travelling circus. Over the double jump. Herman's getting ever closer. Justin Kerben riding well here, but he's been dropped away by 5.5 seconds by Marvin van Luckenen, who's still just 1.3 behind the Leeuwardis boys at the head of the race. 3 race winners so far. Prunier 94 is one of them. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider also took a win, and they are down in 10th place at the moment, having just passed Gert Gordiev. Now the Pruniers are right with Justin Kerben, and this they will sense is an opportunity over one of these jumps. If they're brave enough and they're on the inside line, in this case it's the wrong line, but they cut through and they made the move. A wonderful move by Kilian Prunier on Justin Kerben. Went down on the left, chopped back through, came out on the right, and has gone up to 3rd place. That is a fantastic copybook overtaking move, and he's thrown Koen Hermans, Justin Kerben, just for good measure. Well, what a move that was. Kerben was caught with his trousers down just a little bit there, breaking into the turn, left a gap big enough to drive a horse and cart through. And Prunier hasn't got a horse and cart, he's got a Zabel sidecar outfit. So thank you very much, I'll take it. Third place then for the Frenchman. Currently the gap, 5 seconds they are behind Marvin. Can they close down, indeed wear down, Marvin van Luckenen? We are almost at half racing distance here, with the defending champion doing a sterling job in 2nd place. Closing now, the gap last time over the line under a second on the race leaders. So Daniel and Bruno Leeuwardis had better look to their Latvian laurels. You won't want to say that with a couple of gin and tonics, will you? Look to their Latvian laurels. How about that? Because Marvin van Luckenen is coming. Koen Hermans now close on the back of Justin Kerben. Kerben, I remind you, suffered a horrendous injury, a broken femur at the start, the very first round in 2024, and took him out for the best part of the season. In fact, he only made a tentative return towards the closing stages. Hermans now is on him. Plenty of passing places on this wider track here at Gdańsk. And Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart, 4 titles to the passenger's name, none yet to the rider's name, but he is carrying a red plate and he's on the inside of Kerben and he's going through surely. No, Kerben too wise for that. Cut across, a good block pass there. And there was no way through for Koen Hermans. Meanwhile, Kilian Evin Prunier are getting away just a little bit. This buys them a little bit of time. 2.5 seconds they've got still over Kerben. And he's doing a very good job here of keeping Koen Hermans at bay. He's trying everything in his book. Brett Wilkinson up to 8th now, past Davy Sanders. So Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard are making their way up the field. What's happened here? Tail ender. Brief moment of panic there. I thought I was seeing the demise of the Prunier brothers, but it was a back marker, I think. Yep, they're still there. Prunier boys still in the picture. Kerben still fighting off Koen Hermans, who's going to go wide here and then maybe chop back over the jump. No. It's got to be brave in the air, but Kerben is also brave in the air. Good at jumping. Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. Then alongside here, here's an opportunity, but you've got to be brave over that one as well. Cutting back in. Kerben riding a beautifully defensive line here. Meanwhile, Prunier is just easing away ever so slightly. Koen Hermans, fastest lap, 1:51.097 on lap 5. So Hermans now is denied the opportunity to put in a real cracking lap because he's got Justin Kerben and Dion Rietman ahead of him. The Prunier brothers have put a back marker between themselves and Justin Kerben, so they're able now to buy themselves just a little bit of time. Neil Bardis has extended his lead over Marvin van Lukener to 2.1 seconds. So Van Lukener now slipping backwards a little bit, but we are under 13 minutes of normal racing, 12.2 to go before we see the 2-lap board. And it is a cracking race. Kerben high there, sidecar wheel, and that's all part of his riding style. He looks exciting in the air. Hermans will be getting just a little bit frustrated now. He knows the clock is ticking away. Under 12 minutes now before we see the 2-lap board. Hermans capable and indeed deliverer of the fastest lap. But Kerben looking to the left, he's wondering which side he's going to go. Back with the race leaders, Daniel and Bruno Leal-Bardis. Brand new chassis underneath them. Feels like the old bike, quote, is what they said. And they're riding it like the old bike. Is that the Prunier boys past Marvin van Lukener? I saw the white shirt. It looks as though Kilian Evin Prunier might have got something here. There were some white shirts behind the Leal-Bardis boys. I didn't get to see the number. Next time over the line, we'll get a better idea. It is Kilian Evin Prunier up to second place and now 4 seconds behind Daniel and Bruno Leal-Bardis. They've gone past Van Lukener, who's now going backwards, so the dreaded fatigue has set in to the poor Belgian reigning champion. This is what he dreads. It's at this point in the race where this absolute energy drain comes over him as a result of a long period of COVID symptoms. And now the Leal-Bardis boys, going past tail ender here, will know that they've got the French champions for company and closing fast. 10 minutes of racing left. Kilian Evin Prunier into sight now. That tail ender is there. There, Mark Van Lukener and Nicolas Moutet in third place ahead of the red-plated number 3, Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. The 27 crew of Thomas Baltusas and Manvydas Baltusas, father and son crew from Lithuania. Or maybe even Estonia. They won't forgive me for doing that. Lithuania, got it. Hermans then still in 4th, but now hand in the air from Nicolas Mousset. It's a cautious ride home to the flag for Marvin, who's lost all his drive and energy. And Justin Kerben will be the next to close him down. Hermans has gone past. This is such a heartbreaking sight to see when we know the man has the speed, the ability, but then this drain of energy comes over him. Let's hope he sheds that off. He's got a little bit of time before we go to the deep sound of Lommel. Kerben then, and Dion Rietman now on the back of Marvin van Lucena and Nicolas Mousset with under 10 minutes of normal racing remaining. Prunier's catching Leobardis at the front, 3.7 the gap now. So the Latvian twins are coming under pressure from the overall winners of Bru. Justin Kerben and poor Marvin can do nothing about what's happening to his body. He's just got to manage it, coax it round, and in his own words, he will fight throughout this championship to the very end. Every point is vital and could well be. Tim and Sam Lefferink looming large in his wing mirrors. Wilkinson up to 7th place now, having overcome Tim Prumer and Justin Bloomer. So Wilkinson and Millard also on a charge, 25 seconds off the leader, and they've got 10 seconds with Lefferinks up the road. Back with the race leaders, Daniel and Bruno Leobardis. And the boys have got them in sight. Killian Evon Prunier have got the Leobardis twins in sight. So with under 8 minutes of racing plus 2 laps, it's game on here for Team France. 94 then, with the Latvians ahead of them, and they have every incentive that they need to close down the identical twins, the 18-year-old twins at the head of the race. And the Prunier boys have got him in sight, and they know what they've got to do. And over the pit wall, the thumbs up from Team Prunier for these lads who are having a magnificent ride here. What a race they've had. From about 6th place on the opening lap, they had to battle their way through, and now they've got the race leaders in sight. Mega two-stroke plays Zabel two-stroke. These siblings, well, goodness me. 3rd place, Hermans and van den Bogart. Kerben, Rietman still in 4th. Van Lucena almost into the clutches of another pair of siblings, the Lefferink boys, one of whom was at breakfast in the hotel this morning. Well, I hope he had a light breakfast. He obviously did, because they're marching on here just as the Prunier boys are marching on. The number 94 then, emblazoned large on their backs. All they have to do now is size up the lines, conserve their energy. They're very wise. They know what they're capable of. They're almost alongside. Are they going to dive on the inside of Leobardis? Can they get the drive? That's the question. Well, they're brave over the jumps. That was tricky. That almost kicked sideways. I thought for a second they'd gone. Goodness me. Heart skipped a beat there. Come on, boys. All of you. What a great race this is. Tail ender ahead. So Killian Prunier and the Leobardis boys have got to navigate this back marker. Prunier looking very, very cautiously here at which way Leobardis is going to go. They're both through. They're both through stylishly. Leferink has passed Marvin and Nicolas Musset. Brett Wilkinson is past Marvin and Nicolas Musset. Brett Wilkinson up to 6th place now. And the points go 25, 22, 20, 18, 16, and then 15 all the way down to 1 point for last place. So Brett Wilkinson earning himself good points here to add to his 119. The Prunier boys earning very good points to add to their 126. They've got to get past Lil Bardis to inflict maximum damage on Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Under 5 minutes of racing remaining. Super Grand Prix 4. This is the 7th race in an 18-round competition. 18 race competition, and Prunier's alongside. And is he going to hold it over the jump, Lil Bardis? But Prunier showed his front wheel to the Latvians, and now he's shown it, and the back wheel, and the sidecar wheel. He's got it all the way through. Team Prunier lead the race then, ahead of Daniel and Bruno, Lil Bardis, and this will be a magnificent result if they can make this one stick. The Lil Bardis boys then suitably beaten, but what a ride they have had as well. Whole shot to the last 3 minutes leading the race. Koen Hermans now has seen his championship adversary, Kilian Prunier, move into the lead. Now Kilian Evan Prunier ahead of the tail end of there, the 999, that's Lietauras Variakodis, another Lithuanian. And of course we are very close to the Baltic states here in the north of Poland. That is why there's such a strong contingent from Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. And a very strong pairing here from France. This is an amazing result for these boys, and now they go away with under 3 minutes. They go away from the Lil Bardis boys, and are they slipping back into the clutches? Well, at the moment, they still have a 7-second advantage over Koen Hermans. So it would appear that they've done enough to hold on to second place, and that will give them 22 points. They're currently on 66. They will move to 88, so they will leapfrog significantly up the table into something like 8th place, I would have thought, maybe even higher. Stuart Brown sitting on 83. Well, he's not here, so he will tumble down the standings this weekend. Daniel and Bruno looking like the old pair we know from last year, the old young pair. Just 18 years of age, I remind you, so what a brilliant future they've got. They now trail Kilian Evan Prunier by something approaching 2 seconds. The French brothers are going away here. And we're now waiting for the red plate. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart, over they go. Now Justin Kerben still holding on. 4th place for Kerben. Just over a minute of normal racing. Here comes Brett Wilkinson on the back of Tim and Sam Leferink. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard about to take another place past the Leferinks and get it up to 5th if they can. Wilkinson is so strong in the closing stages of the race. He rides hard. I'm pretty sure that must have been him that had that momentary stop. Was it the kill switch? I've no idea. That's happened before. He got it caught on a piece of his clothing and yanked the lanyard out, and that killed the engine. It was either him or Mike Hodges. It was definitely a left-handed sidecar. What Brett needs to do in race 2 is get the thing off the line better, but he's starting from 8th qualifying, middle of the pack. That's not a good place, but he's obviously quicker here in some places than Tim and Sam Leferink, and he can close them down. The clock closing down as well. Very soon we'll see a row of zeros, and that means that the 2-lap board will come out, and Wilkinson then knows the job at hand. 6th at the moment. Can he make 5th? I don't think he's got enough energy or time left to close down Kerben. should he make his way past him and Sam Leffering. Pair of 4 strokes thundering away here. The P-Power machine under Brett Wilkinson has proved to be so good once he switched to it. And Leffering boys, well, they're going very, very well indeed, thundering along on their bike. Leffering still holding off Brett. KTM engine under the Lefferings, and the field well and truly spread out now with a 2-lap board. Race leaders, Kilian, Evan, Prunier. The gap now 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds over the Leeuwardis boys. And they are having the ride of their lives. Keep your fingers crossed for the rear shock absorber. That's exactly the punishment that finishes them off. A huge, high, wide and handsome jump. They'll be listening to every sound from the bike. Evan looking over his shoulder. They pledged at the end of last season to put the work in over the winter. They've certainly done that. And Evan was lacking a little bit of 30-minute stamina towards the end of last season, and he said he'd put that right, and he's certainly done that. Formidable pairing now, Kilian, Evan, Prunier. Leeuwardis boys still coming. Is Hermans then closing them down? No, he's still 3 or 4 seconds behind them. So the Leeuwardis boys, wait a minute. Is that Hermans on their case? In which case, if he is, he's made 1 lap to go then for Prunier, in which case he's made huge ground up in the last lap. It's Hermans. He's a second behind the Leeuwardis boys, so second place is at risk here. Second place is at risk. It's Prunier on target to win here. On their final lap, the number 94. But which of the crews chasing? Daniel and Bruno Leeuwardis with Koen Hermans right behind them. There we have it. Red blade of Hermans, Ben van den Bogart on the back. This is the battle then for second place. I don't know why the yellow flag being waved for Davy Sanders, I think. Looks like Davy Sanders dropped out of the reckoning there. Might be the wrong colouring, but it looked like the blue and white of Davy Sanders. But still, Leeuwardis then, is he going to manage to hold it to the end? We've seen what Koen Hermans' last lap speed is like when he pipped Marvin van Lukenen to the post. Well, if they can keep him in third, this will be an added bonus for Kilian and Evan Prunier. $20 points will go to Hermans, moving him to 177. Prunier will pick up 25, moving to 151, which will reduce his deficit by 26 points. But they're on their last lap. They're coming round now handsomely here to take victory. The checkered flag ready for Kilian and Evan Prunier. The 94 French crew bring it home to take victory. Boy, are they so good with that. Leeuwardis stays ahead of Koen Hermans. And then did Justin Kerben do enough to hold fourth? Yes, he did. Kerben comes up and Brett Wilkinson chasing hard Lefferings, but it's Brett Wilkinson 6th place. But, well, Prunier, Leeuwardis and Hermans. That's your 1, 2, 3, and that has really, really worked wonders for Prunier in his quest to become the French first world champion of the FIM Sidecarcross World Championship. Prunier Hermans Kerben, magnificent, magnificent result. Being congratulated by members of their support team. Nicola handing out the agua. Evan, you want a drink of water? Take the bottle. Thank you. Right. Leobardis boys, they'll be pleased with that. Now they know that they've got a fight on their hands. Kilian Evan Prunier, absolutely sensational. What can I say? We'll be talking to them, I have no doubt. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. In these temperatures, it cannot be funny. About 35 minutes of full-on racing. Amazing, amazing. So the Latvian fans will be very, very happy indeed with that one. We've more quads at the end of the day, but later today, of course, we do have the second Grand Prix sidecar race, and that's about 4 o'clock Central European time, in a couple of hours plus from now. And these crews, believe you me, will need plenty of time to regroup and get their wits about them.
So Ben, I think it was not the best start for you, but then you came through to the third place, and in the end it was also so close to the second one. What are you thinking about the race?
Yeah, in the whole race we were struggling with the lines, had a bad start, and then it's difficult to find your own lines because you have to attack a lot. But yeah, we kept on going, and on the end we made it to the top 3. So yeah, consistency is the key to success, and we hope to do better in the second race.
Yeah, but I think that the goal is to keep the red plate. So
yeah, of course, DNF kills the championship, so it's important to go on till the last meter, and yeah, I'm happy for this today.
yeah, I wish you good recovery for the second race and good luck.
Thank you.
Ben van den Bogart there, 4 times a world champion, and they will know that the championship is not won until it's over. Anything can happen, as we say in this sport, and almost certainly will before we get to the end of the season in Rudelsburg in Germany. Well, I've got no talkback, so I've got no warning of when the interviews come, so I'll have long pauses, and hopefully we'll be dropping in with either Leobardis boys, but certainly we will be talking to one, if not both, of the Prunier brothers. Meanwhile,
So Kilian, brilliant race. You had some brilliant moves with overtaking first Justin. So what are you thinking about the race?
Yeah, our start was not the best like yesterday, but yeah, we fight the first lap to take the position in front, and yeah, we take the lead mid of the race, and yeah, what a race we learned from yesterday from the quali race, and yeah, that was a great race for us.
Yeah, I wish you good luck with keeping the winning streak for the second race too.
Yeah, I hope we will try.
Yeah, thank you.
Evan Prunier, a very, very likeable family, and an excellent passenger. What can I say? I mean, really, really fantastic. And I'm hoping we'll hear from the Leobardis boys. I'm sure we will. It will be Daniel, almost certainly, about how their new chassis went. Meanwhile, quali race B. Race 1. That's more like it. Prunier, Leobardis, Hermans, Kerben, Leffering, Wilkinson up to 6, so that will maintain their championship position. I'll work the points out once I'm off air. And Benny Weiss, Tim Pruma, Stefan Wires, Marvin Van Luken are still in the points, but dropped down to 10th. Poor Marvin, that's tough. That is tough. 11 points though, better than nothing, could be vital at the end. He is dropping down towards Brett Wilkinson in the standings. Brett stands a chance of going third after this race. Gordiev, Weinman, Hodges, Henderson. And that's the way the second half of the table goes. It doesn't look as though we're going to get another interview from Lil Bardis. Maybe we'll get one later in the day. But certainly it's been a delightful race one and a fantastic result for the French champions. And it looks like that's all we're going to bring you on fim-motor.tv.com from race one here at Gdańsk. But the live stream is back again later this afternoon for race two. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we've got the second EMX Quadcross Championship race. And Bradley Hicks will be talking you through that action. But as the crowds make their way back to the refreshment areas, for me, Barry Nutley, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't go away. Stay with us for race two. Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin Van Lukenes certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.